Start off with injuries as far as Kyle Long. He's still going through that. We're evaluating him next 24, 48 hours, know a lot more with him. And hopefully it's more towards the 24-hour deal, but he's getting evaluated still in that process now. Ben Broniker did have he's going through the concussion process for which we mentioned yesterday, so that'll take its course. And just have to see where he's at there. And then as far as with Khalil and Al Robinson, they're going to be day to day as well. So it's day to day, hour to hour. Hopefully better this week. But again, I just can't. It's too hard to predict until we get to as we go throughout the week. So they'll be in that day to day deal. And then Cush, we do plan on having him back this week, which is good. Which will be good and get him going. So after watching the tape, going back and seeing the three phases, I thought that starting off with the defense, being able to get those 3 and outs that we discussed, we started off, we stopped the run. That was evident early on. They did a good job with that and forced those 3 and outs. We did have that penalty that ended up leading into a touchdown for them. And it was a costly penalty, but it's one that's it's what the call was. It wasn't for a hit to the head. It was just for an unnecessary roughness, and that's the rules. And so, but it's hard to tell your guys to that's that gray area there of whether or not to hit the guy. Because if the guy catches the ball, then we want to play aggressive and try to tackle him and hit him. And so that's a tough one there from the coach's perspective. But that's what the rule is, and so. That was a costly one, and then the other one that was costly was on the offensive side of the ball at the end of half there with Kyle, which I know he regrets that. So other than that, I thought it was pretty clean offensively. It was a little bit choppy in the first half. We weren't getting we had a few incompletions in a row there, which we want to get back on track and trying to get completions and stack those. The run game there were a couple runs that were decent, that were 5+ runs. And then in the second half, you saw that once we had a little bit more of a lead, I think Jordan had 16 carries in the second half, and that's kind of what you see a lot of times in this offense. And so overall, not bad. We got the win, and then special teams. We missed the field goal. Cody knows he's got to make those. And then I thought field position-wise with kickoffs and punts, we did a good job there. And then 2-9 Tariq at the end there. We got to be a little more disciplined and not touching that football because we're up 14 there. And if they get that ball back, they're in the red zone. They weren't in the red zone a whole lot, so that could be a sudden change there. So fortunately, we recovered that one.
Matt, on the 70-yard touchdown to Tariq, how did his route, by not going outside, by going inside, kind of set up that play?
Well, that's what he's supposed to do on that play, but there's usually less guys in there. So with them playing coverage 0, there's more guys. So you go back and watch it. When you see it, he had to kind of turn a little bit sideways and slip through there, and he's really good at that. And so we were fortunate to have him be the one catching that ball and then to be able to do what he did afterwards.
How important was it, too, for some guys in the offensive line to kind of still fake like it wasn't a screen pass on
it? Yeah, it's easy in that situation when they storm the castle to panic a little bit and get off your assignment, but they didn't do that. The whole offensive line, Mitch, the running backs, they stayed patient and they just kind of let the thing happen. And so by doing that, it allowed Mitch to have a little bit of green grass in front of him to loft it over the defensive lineman. And then James Daniels and Tariq did a good job of kind of getting out of his way. Tariq made a good catch, and then he went north and south with the ball. He didn't dance.
Matt, what are your emotions for a guy like Kyle, whose body has been through hell the last
Yeah.
Another setback to deal with?
Well, it's like you just said, for him to go through what he's gone through the last couple of years with injuries, you feel for the guy. I mean, he's like I said, he's been doing really well since our first day together in OTAs. He's been a constant leader. He's very engaged in meetings. He's just really done things the right way. And so right now, We're hoping that it's good news, but we won't know here for a little bit. But when we do find that out, and we got to deal with either way, you know, and then. But for him, he's got to just stay mentally strong, you know, as much as he can.
Do you become numb to the brutality of it?
Yeah, you do. That's a good way to put it. You do. Unfortunately, you always feel for the person, whoever it is, however it happens, because you put yourself in their situation. You know, it's a guy like Sam Acho. You know, he's a great leader and great player, and it hurts to not be a part of it on the field. And so but as a coach, you got to keep rolling no matter what happens, and that's why I think Ryan and our guys do such a good job, and our coaches of coaching, like bringing in depth and having depth, and then coaching. Our coaches coaching it so that if anything does happen, the next guy up, and then you go, and you can't feel sorry for yourself as a coach. You can't feel sorry for yourself as a player, and so we'll just see where it goes.
Is a season-ending injury a possibility for him? Is that the bad news side of the good news, bad news?
Again, I don't know. I really don't. I guess it could be, but I'm not sure. It's one of those ones. It could be a little bit of time, but I don't know if it's necessarily season-ending.
Is it?
Well, we're actually kind of going through that. We're playing our contingency plans right now, and really most of today and tomorrow once we find out more on his side. But the good thing is that we do have, you know, with Cush, like I said, with him coming back, and then Brian Witzman, who was with me in Kansas City last year. He started 13 games. So having some depth there, again, I'm going to give credit to Ryan for going out and always having depth is great.
Yesterday, you weren't sure if he had re-aggravated the ankle. You didn't think so. Can you just clarify? Is it a new foot injury, or?
Yeah, it would be a new one. Yeah.
We're still calling it a foot.
Yeah.
We're doing
The defense did a really good job putting in fairly long yesterday as opposed to the week before. As a play caller, how tough is that? And also, how big of a key is it with the defensive success?
So which side am I talking about, offense or defense?
The Bears defense put the Jets in a lot of third and long.
Yeah.
They weren't able to do that against the Patriots the previous week. So how tough, as a play caller, is that when you're facing third and long all the time?
Yeah, it's hard. Well, your percentages are a lot lower, and you know they had several false starts that pushes them back first, second down, and then you're automatically in that distance. And then they try to throw a screen on one, and Danny made a good play and made the quarterback third it. But yeah, anytime you're in those long down and distances, you know, you'll see teams that drop 8. They give you the 10-yard gain and let you come up 4 or 5 yards short to punt the ball. But it's hard. You know, that's not an area that you want to live in as an offensive play caller.
Matt, with Khalil, you know, you had said last week it was going to be the same practice plan.
Yeah.
And you had said last week that it was no worse than it was the week
Right.
before. What changed in terms of determining whether or not he should play?
Yeah, just the communication of all of us. Literally, the day of the game, we've been talking, and we talked to him, and like I told you, what we were going to do is exactly what we followed, and we just wanted to make sure that for him it was the right decision. So if we put him out there, number one, is he going to make it any worse by doing that? Number two, does he help our team? Is he effective enough? And so just the collaboration of all of us talking in the morning was what we went with. And so I'm hoping that this week, you know, it grows and it gets better, but I'm gonna stay cautious with it always, and we together are always gonna just talk through it.
You guys have, 5 NFC North games in the second half?
Yeah.
What role does the schedule play when you're trying to make a decision like that?
I don't really think it plays that much of a role, just because all these games they count so much and they're so hard, you know. So you wanna be able to put yourself in a situation. Trust me, we want Khalil Mack out there, right? We want Allen Robinson out there. They want to be out there. But this is just part of the business that we have to make sure that we're doing what's best for both parties. And as hard as it is to understand for some, it's a body part. It changes all the time, and how your reaction to it, and it should be getting better. That's the common theory on it, right? It should be getting better. So that's what we hope. We hope it gets better. We hope each day we can say, yes, it's getting closer and closer to where we feel like it benefits us to be out there.
Matt, first-round picks are always going to be under a microscope. What is your view of how Leonard Floyd has played so far this season?
Well, so Leonard is my view of where he's at right now is he's flying around everywhere. He is. Now, numbers-wise, production-wise, he doesn't have the sack or the sacks that everybody wants from a first-round pick. Trust me, he wants it too. But what I want to focus on with him is just sometimes, you know, naturally you can start pressing and you try to do things and you probably overdo things. And so he wants to be able to go out there and affect the quarterback as much as he can. But what I see on tape right now is somebody that's he's doing different moves. He's pressuring the quarterback from the edge. He's trying to chase him down. He just hasn't had that sack or those sacks, and they do come in bunches. And so, you know, right now with being 7-8 weeks into the season, hopefully we can keep that thing going or at least get him going. And then once you get that first one, then normally those other ones start picking up. But it's you know, I'm more than fine with where he's at, and he's a big part of this defense.
And we saw Mitch drop his arm angle and arm slot a few times
Yeah.
yesterday. What was your assessment of how he did that, especially in the context of consistency with his mechanics and the type of thing you're trying to do?
Yeah, there's a couple throws to the flat where he was a little off. The one that you may be talking about specifically was one to Tariq Cohen to the right side.
Mitch on the first down?
No, this was one.
You're talking about the check down there?
Yeah, down in the red zone. Yeah, down in the red zone. And there was a defender there, and he dropped his arm angle did get low, and it dropped his elbow, and the ball went a little bit inside of Tariq. And so, no, the other one that you're talking about, that was a throwaway there. That wasn't. He was looking to go somewhere else, and then his reaction was to just quick come to the flat. And when you can't see where that linebacker's at, if you throw one to the flat and it's accurate and you don't know where that linebacker's at, that's a pick six. So that one was a throwaway. But there was one to Jordan to the flat where they kind of sank and Jordan was in the flat. Jordan drifted upfield a little bit, but he can make that throw. So, but yeah, those are when he drops the arm angle. That's any quarterback. When you're off, when your weight's off balance or your feet aren't right, your stride or your timing's off. You know, it's natural to be a little bit inaccurate.
What do you like about him with pressure, or about how he handled pressure yesterday?
Well, he early on there was some pressure where I thought his timing was a little bit off. He set back in the pocket a little bit and threw our timing off. But then as we got going there, he was seeing the field well, and when they were bringing some pressure, you see he pushed up in the pocket instead of out to the side. He pushed up, and then he made a couple runs, and he's getting better with keeping his eyes downfield. I thought he did a good job on the one where he pushed forward and ran for a first down. I think it was 3rd and 10, and he pushed up and ran to the right. And that was a good job by him. They played good defense there, and he made a play with his legs.
On that play, Miller runs off the DB to his side.
Yeah.
What did you think there of the decision to run versus pass? And did he have Miller?
So when he dropped back, that's a 5-step drop from the gun. So that's equivalent to a 7-step drop under center. When he dropped back, when you do that, you have to be careful because the edge rushers, they get to the apex of 9 to 10 yards. And normally you like to one hitch and throw on time. He felt the edge pressure, so he pushed forward in the pocket. And when you do that, you got to bring your shoulder with you, 2 hands on the ball. And he just felt like he felt like it was time to push. His sensor went off to push forward, and now he felt a lane there to his right to take off and run, and that's what he did. And so the timing of it, in a perfect world, he would have one hitched and threw a ball to 17 because 17 was open, but he pushed forward and ran for the first.
How did you think James Daniels played, being asked to step up and play the?
Yeah, he played a good game. Now, there was a couple things in there where he got a little bit off balance, but one of his strengths is being able to recover with leverage. A couple other times where he was pulling in the run game and had some thumpers where he was bringing it. I thought overall in the pass game, the offensive line did an awesome job protecting. They did a really good job. And giving green grass to Mitch, and specifically 68, I thought for being in there as much as he was, he did well.
Matt, you guys have got the trade deadline coming up.
Yeah.
You've obviously traded a couple of draft picks in the last.
Yeah.
How does that affect how active you may or may not be?
Not too much. I mean, that's right now. I'm just so honed in on it. It's for me. I'm just honed in on Buffalo, and it's coming up. But I leave that kind of to Ryan and those guys to figure out where they're at and everything. I try to stay out of that. I really do. And so if there's something that teams are calling about, then, you know, you always, I mean, you're crazy. You have to listen. But for the most part, we just keep rolling. We've like you just said, we've done a lot over the past 8 months, and so we feel really good where we're at.
I won't ask you to name it specific, but is there an area of need that you need patched?
For us? No. Nope.
There was a 3rd and 6 where Mitch threw deep for Anthony Miller. I think they brought a 0
Yeah.
blitz on him. And Bellamy was coming across underneath. What is the decision there to throw deep rather than short? And
Yep.
what did you make of the way Mitch handled that?
Yeah, no, they were in a coverage where Mitch went to the right player there. They were in man coverage, and that was the right read in that situation. You know, Anthony had him beat. There's some different types of throws that you can make on that. That one got off. That one was a little bit too far, so Anthony couldn't make a play. There's a couple ways that we practice of throwing it. That was one that got away from him, but he went to the right spot.
Man, what jumped out at you at the way you mentioned forcing a lot of 3rd and longs? What jumped out at you the way the coverage and rush kind of worked together to limit the Jets on 3rd down?
Yeah, well, it did that. I thought our defensive line did a good job in those situations of just kind of closing down some of the lanes, some games that were going on, TE stunts, ET stunts, where they're twisting or just getting penetrating that pocket and collapsing it, which makes that quarterback, especially a young guy, makes him kind of get jittery, and then he's got to throw not on time. He doesn't throw on time. And then the other thing I thought that our DBs did really well, and our linebackers, was they were around the throws with the receivers. So whoever it was a contested throw. It was never just an easy catch, and I liked that. I thought yesterday there was some good pass breakups. That's what we discussed and getting better at, and I thought that they really challenged those guys yesterday, which it works together, right? The D-line rushes, they make the quarterback not throw on time, and then you're there to be able to break it up.
This weekend's a 4-game stretch against an AFC division. That's kind of a weird scheduling quirk. I'm just curious, does that help you at all in any way to get the AFC games all in a row?
It might a little bit. I never really thought about it that way, but I could see somebody bringing that up in the fact that, I mean, these are 4 teams in the same division, you know, and then not to mention that for myself, we played them last year, so there's some familiarity there. And then, like you said, right after that, it's boom, 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 right into 3 division games with Detroit, Minnesota, Detroit. So, but for us as coaches and for the players, we try to do our best to just, really hone in on who you have. But I don't think it's probably as much as some may think, either way.
Man, Kevin Wright was the intended receiver on an incompletion. He ran a wheel route.
Yeah.
What did you think of the route?
So it was another man coverage. I think Kevin, if he had it to do it over again, he might go a little deeper on the first part of the route. And they played good coverage. That was good defense by them. We weren't sure whether we get man or zone. We felt like the play was good versus both, but the kid played 27, played good defense on them, and I really don't think there was a whole lot more that Kevin or Mitch could have done on that.
They hooked up on a 3rd down. That would have been a really big play.
That was a big penalty.
The penalties.
Yeah.
What worked about that play? It's obviously not.
Well, that was one of our best plays, our best executed plays in the game, other than the screen. It was a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12-ish, I think, and we got a coverage that we liked, and Bellamy and Kevin and everybody within the play, they ran exactly the way we teach it versus that look. I mean, to a T. And Mitch stayed in the pocket strong. He threw it on time. Kevin made a good catch, and we had a low hit to the quarterback, another 15, and then unfortunately we had the penalty with Kyle. So that was that one hurt, especially because we were a little bit off early on. So to be able to get that big completion on a 3rd down with an extra 15 yards, that one set us back a little bit.
Long is still a pretty good athlete, especially for a guard. How would his absence impact the playbook, if at all, I guess? I mean, are there plays you can less likely to call because you don't have Kyle Long?
No, there's not. No, he's a big guy, and he is very athletic. But for us, as coaches, we just keep going. We call the same stuff. We don't change, and that would really honestly probably be with everybody.
3rd and 3, Mitch gets sacked on the first series.
Yeah.
Missing the field goal. How could you guys have avoided that sack right there? Did anything come open for him, or he kind of tried to?
No. Well, he was looking to throw the corner route to Bellamy. And so you'll see when you watch it, you'll see, to Anthony Miller, the corner route. Bellamy pops open for the first, but again, there's some lanes there where you're trying to see it. Didn't have it, then he went to run, and they had a spy. It was a drop 8 spy. So they had 8 defenders in coverage with one guy spying him, and the kid swung his arm and just tripped him up. That's a good play by the defense.
What did you learn about Zach Miller?
Yeah.
Obviously, you came in after the injury.
Yeah.
So do you remember seeing the injury?
I do, yeah, I do remember it. And it's crazy now to think that, that we're here together. Zach is one of my favorite people I've been around in a long time. I absolutely love the kid. He's somebody that we feel very fortunate and lucky to have be a part of this family and this organization. The times that we get together and we talk, I mean, just such a happy-go-lucky guy, good person. You see, I knew what he was as a player, as a tight end, and the things that he could do. But I love the guy, I really do, and we're fortunate. And I know today's the year anniversary and everything for that happening. But he just does things the right way, and he's good people.
Surprised that he's happy-go-lucky, given what happened? I mean, there are some people that probably would have taken it to a darker place.
Sure, yeah. No, I'm not surprised because of who he is. I mean, he's as humble, down-to-earth, happy person that just loves life. He loves people, and he's a great teammate. And our guys, feed off of him. I feed off of him. I mean, you're just talking about one of those guys that you want on your team, and you want him to be a part of who you are and what you do.
Can you just shed a little light, like, he's around you guys, traveling with you guys, what he does? Is he like a coach? Just a little bit of...
So he, we've kind of turned it into a little bit of that where, matter of fact, we're getting ready to meet up here. We were supposed to meet, but then I guess you guys are doing an interview with him or something. So we're going to meet later on. He's going to come up, and we just talked through some ways that he can help out, so some ways that he can, whether it's video, film, suggestions, whatever it is, any way he can help. We just feel like everybody should be a part of this thing, and he loves that. He's good at it, so let's use him. Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
turn this one back?
That's good.
Okay. Where are you from? Are you full of the hard-hitting ones today?
Zach, what's this, day like for you?
Today? Normal old Monday for me. Carry on. I haven't really thought much about what it was a year ago. Trying to just keep on moving forward, I guess. Regular old day.
Zach, when was your final surgery?
January 11th, 12th.
So that was the 9th, you had 9 total on this? How close have you come to running? I know you had that goal of wanting to run.
Stay tuned on that one.
Was it close?
I don't know if we're medically permitted to talk about that, but or I guess on these premises, so ask me outside. That was a personal goal of mine to just to have something to aim for. I haven't been medically cleared to run. I've ran. I know my body. I know if I can push the envelope and do things. I think that's more of a, they don't want me to trip, fall, and injure something. But I've done that, and I'm proud of that. So it's been good.
How'd it go?
How pleased are you with the progress that you made? How pleased are you with the progress that you made? I know you said you'd like to set goals. Are you where you thought you'd be? Are you ahead? Are you behind?
I never really thought of, like right now I don't know if I'm ahead or behind because I don't know the blueprint of this thing. I'm very happy where I'm at just throughout it. I made goals just to see if I could attain them. I hit them. I feel good where I'm at physically. I've been able to get back in the weight room and start doing some things that at least feel like I'm getting stronger and make me feel better. But I still have a long ways to go, and I understand that challenge, and I'm willing to accept it.
If you'll pardon the big picture question, how did this change you? Did it?
Yeah, I'm certain it changed me a little bit. Perseverance. I mean, I've always felt I've had that, but this is just on another level. Patience, for sure. Sitting there for 6 months and your foot won't move and you're trying to move it gives you a little bit of patience. And I guess just the will to keep on fighting. Kind of positive things that I've gained out of this thing, and that's just the way I look at it, opposed to all the negative stuff I suppose you could take with it.
And the goal is to play.
I think so. I mean, that's what I'd like to do, but I don't know how that'll play out. I haven't been told no. I haven't been told yes. I mean, that's kind of just a day-to-day thing. I know there'll be a point where I'll be able to decide that. I'm not there yet, so I'll just continue to work to it, knowing that if I can get it done, that'd be awesome. And if I can't, then I'd be willing to accept that fact that I gave everything I could to get there.
Coach Nagy just called you a happy-go-lucky guy. That mates, when they have a down day, they go to you, you cheer them up. How are you able to do that? Or was it a conscious effort? Is that just how you've always been? I mean, someone mentioned over here, you did go into a dark place. You've just been...
I think just probably the way I was brought up a little bit. My father has told me from a very young age, his motto was that we're only here for fun. And I've carried that with me for a long time. And then it's just a conscious effort of choosing to be that way. I mean, you can go the opposite way. What good does that do? It doesn't do me any good to sit there and dwell on negative things or bad stuff. You can find positivity in it, and I think that's just kind of how I choose to do it.
Zach, you're a high-level athlete. You spent the last year of your life trying to just figure out how to run again.
Yeah.
How do you, A, gain acceptance of that, and B, get yourself through some of those moments of, man, I can't do what I have done forever?
I think the competitor in me drives me. It gives you you accept a challenge. And as a competitor, when you get challenged, you work towards it. You do anything you can to accept the challenge and conquer the challenge. So that's the approach I think I've just accepted and taken throughout the entire thing. This is another challenge. Maybe looked at it as a little odd, you know what I'm saying? But that's how I get through it. That's how I approach probably every single day. I mean, I was just in there still just doing a little foot in rehab just 10 minutes ago, foot exercises of just the monotony of trying to raise my foot and strength and things like that. It's challenging every single day, and that's something that I continue to do.
Talking about the role your family
has played in helping you get to this point, but not just physically, but mentally.
Yeah. That's probably another reason why I'm as positive as I am. And my support system at home is unbelievable. So they've continued to back me in any way possible. Days that were no good, they tried to pick me up. And the days that were good, we made them even better. I mean, we have a lot of fun at home. And throughout this entire process, this whole journey, they've made sacrifices that you can't even really believe in. So without them, I'm not here. Yeah. So I've had a ton of support, even from not just my family life, but it's been through you guys and the entire Bears fan base, NFL fan base, people from all over the world that have been there for me just to give me an encouraging message or a pat on the back. Everything helps. So without that, I don't know that I'm here in the mood that I'm in at this very moment.
I know people who have had horrible things happen to them have sought you out.
Yeah.
What is that? Is there a weight that comes with that, a responsibility that comes with that? And how does that balance with being happy-go-lucky about your own experiences?
I think a little bit. That's touching when you have other people reach out to you when they're going through things, and I don't want to say it's weird, but I don't know another word for it. It's just to see that if you can have an impact on somebody in that manner. So with that being said, when you realize that you can affect them with a word of encouragement, the same way that I'm getting encouraged by the support that I get, when someone reaches out to me and they're in that dark place and they're in a place where they want to grow, they want to continue to get out of where they're at. If I could help in any way with what I'm going through, show them how I'm fighting, I'm proud of that. You know, so I take a lot of ownership in that. I feel like it's a positive thing for all of us to move forward. So I got messages this morning, people reaching out and just saying how inspiring that is, and in return, I feel the same way.
Mentally, for you, it's been 365 days of kind of your recovery from this injury. Is that difficult at all to have to think about this, to be cognizant of the injury, the recovery, the rehab every single day, or has it been something manageable?
No, it hasn't. It's just a day-to-day thing. I haven't really dwelled on it much. I don't think, I look back at it's been 1 year, because I don't want to say this was a year ago. You know, I made it through 1 year already. This isn't, we're looking back at that. We're looking at kind of where I'm at now. And it's just been, I can't decide if it's been slow or fast. Because when I was in it, I felt like the days were 48 hours long. It just was slow. And then I look at where I'm at now, almost like went by in a blink of an eye. So I haven't dwelled much on it and just kind of take it day to day.
You referred to the normalcy today and the normalcy that you have. What's your appreciation for normalcy?
I'll tell you what, there's some things when you're quote unquote normal life, take for granted. Walking, getting in and out of the shower, going to the bathroom, doing everyday things that we as people do. It gives you perspective on all of that. So I've been connected with a couple people who've had similar injuries to me and went the opposite way, and it just makes you appreciate things, and to see where I'm at now compared to where I was even 6 months ago, just very thankful, and makes you appreciate all the things that you can do.
Zach, when you
role with the team this year, Matt was telling us about how you watch film, you're in meetings, giving input. Have you liked it? Do you feel like you've been a valuable resource and helped this team?
Yeah, I do like it. I mean, any day that you can still be a part of something like this is a good day for me. And they've done a great job keeping me involved. And in turn, I get to still do what I love, making cut-ups every day for the guys, and just giving my perspective of how I see things from my view. You know, being on the field for a while, and then at least feeling like you're a part of what they're doing and having success on the field. So I'll continue to do that, and hopefully if I can help out in any way, it helps.
Zach, do you view the sport differently? I mean, when you're at every game, you're on the sideline, if you see a guy get hit, Do you watch it differently?
Yeah, and it's funny that you ask because as I sit there on the sideline when you're playing, you don't really pay much attention to how violent this game is. And I'm sitting there and I see hits. I'm like, oh, shoot. It looks like it hurts. And then as you're in it, it's just everyday football. But definitely have a different perspective sitting on the sideline, being that close and watching it, you know, from what's happened this past year. So guys are flying around.
With that being said, you said you reach out to guys too. How much are you hurting for Kyle? Just he's had so many injuries. You've had so many injuries. We don't know the extent of it yet, but you got to feel for him today, right?
Certainly do. And I posted a picture of him and I last night on Instagram of just family ties, just knowing that him and I's relationship our bond is a little different because we've had surgery together on the same days in the same places. I've seen what he's went through and how hard he's worked to get to where he's at, all the stuff he's overcame. I just feel for him because I know what he's put in, but I know how he is. I've seen him come back from all that, and I don't think it'll be any different as soon as he gets through this, and hopefully he's on the mend soon and back helping us win football games.
Zach, how much of an incentive was it for you to get back to just where you could do dad stuff with your kids, and are you there yet?
That was number one goal. As I spoke with all my doctors, as much as I wanted to play football and do want to play football, the main thing was, can I enjoy everyday life with my kids? Can I run around in the backyard, throw the football, kick a soccer ball, and be able to beat them until they at least get into high school? Because that's what I'm planning on doing. That was the main thing, and yeah, they're already falling in line. I'm already able to do that, which is, for me, that's a win. If I could be able to do that for a very long time, I'll be happy.
Zach, what are your favorite activities with the kids?
With kids, we play a lot of music at the house. Guitar, piano, whatever it may be, we do a lot of music, and then outside a lot, soccer, football, basketball, baseball, you name it. Bella does dance. I don't dance very well, so she normally does it. I just record her. But, yeah, a lot of stuff. We're not too exciting.
Was piano new for you?
Yeah.
You'd never done it before?
No, I mean, I had messed around. And then after this, a little bit of time on your hands, so I taught myself how to play the guitar in college, and I thought I had a piano at the house, so we might as well see if we can get this done. Good.
What are your go-tos on the piano?
Go-tos? Oh, man. I play a lot of Sam Hunt. I'm a huge Sam Hunt fan, so play that. Do you guys see the movie A Star Is Born yet? Good movie. Learned a couple of those songs last couple of weeks, so if I could sing, I might have something going on here, but I can't sing very well. I can sing, just not in tune, so.
Do your kids play piano?
No.
Why was there a piano in your house?
That's where, what do you mean?
Oh, you had a piano in your house, but you never played?
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Not the house we're renting there right now.
Oh, okay.
Fully furnished. Yeah. I thought you meant what's a piano in your house for? You like to play it? No, they haven't learned how to play, but I'm trying to teach them. This teaching things that you don't really know, it's difficult in itself. But yeah, they love music as well, so hopefully they can sing one day. I'll play, they can sing.
Reaction to the catch rule changing this offseason?
Yeah. That was a catch anyways. I think they all knew it. That's why they had to change it, but I still don't even know what the verbiage is or what it was. I wasn't too focused on it. But as long as we move forward and know that we're making correct calls for the game, I think it's a good thing.
Stefan, have you given any thought to what you might do next after your football career is over? You want to get into coaching or something outside of the game?
I don't know. I just don't know that yet. Just because I'm focused just on rehabbing and kind of see where I can get to, where that will lead, and I'm sure there'll be a point where I can start to figure that out. I think it's clear that a lot of people know I love the game of football, and that's been something I've done for a long time. So if I'm able to stay around that and be involved in that would be great. And if it carries me to another avenue down the road, then we'll see at that time. But I'm not quite sure at this moment. It is currently at my house in Nebraska with all the other ones. I thought it was in a case. My wife does a really good job of putting these things on display in these nice glass cases. I don't know if she got one yet. It might be in a box. It's safe. And I know that it's safe.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, guys.